Hello, what's up? It's Rosa here from LA Social Club. So as promised, it's 12 o'clock, a little bit, a little bit past. And I'm gonna be doing this live video on how to create your own face mask. A lot of people have been requesting face masks from me because I sew. I truly, really appreciate it. My resources are actually whittling down, and it is extremely hard to find um, elastic right now in the craziest way. Hi, Mabeli. So I just um, want to first go through all the supplies you're going to need for the face mask and really like just let you know what my experience is. So what I did was, just look at things at Joann's and see if I could find fabric that I knew would be good, which is like flannel fabric and cotton fabric, and also hinting at the elastic. So the elastic should be like a comfortable elastic that'll go around the head or the ears. And I couldn't find any, so it was crazy. So I looked on Etsy, and I was able to order some from Etsy, and I was able to get some from some like random other person. And I just thought like, wow, this is kind of a nutty thing how we're so limited on resources all of a sudden, and and everybody must be making these masks, but I don't know, maybe they're not. But maybe they're making, but like for me, I'm making them for other people. I made like a batch of 20 plus for my friend who, who works in the medical field. And I just thought we have a whole bunch of frontline people in the grocery stores and people who I don't even know if uh, the farmers markets are happening, but if they are, then that's amazing. But I know that there's a bunch of moms and dads out there and people who need protection, um, from this virus thing that's happening. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to use my skills. I'm here at home. I'm just going to make these face masks, and hopefully people will, you know, order some from me or just DM me and ask me for some. If I don't have any more resources like fabric or elastic, then I, will find it. I'll scrounge for it. I'll trade for it, like I'll trade you fabric and elastic for, a mask. You know what I mean? So like you bring stuff and I give to you, that kind of thing. Like it's a barter thing. It's not even a, I'm not even, I did put the kids sizes up on eBay. I mean, eBay, on Etsy, on my Etsy page, the Le Meow Club, because I also want people to be able to order from me, and they'll get them in about 1 to 2 days. I specifically put priority mail prices so that people aren't waiting, 1 or 2 weeks for them, but they're getting them way faster um, than the average first class postal service. And I mean, even then, like, even the postal service, even the postal people, they are getting, they're frontline people too. And I feel like everybody should be protecting themselves. Everybody should be wearing masks. And I feel like everybody needs to just help each other with this, get through this weird, time right now. Um, I have been solitary indoors. I've been indoors because after the baby was born, I didn't want to leave the house. I had a, cesarean birth, and, it was a crazy ordeal. And, I just was like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything. I got preeclampsia after that. I got hypertension, high blood pressure. I had to go back to the ER, and I was actually in the ER at about the very beginning of this whole virus thing. So, um, I don't know. I feel like I got lucky, just like a teeny tiny bit, because I would probably be having an anxiety attack and freaking out if I actually did have to be in the ER at this time right now. Um, so I felt lucky because of that. But uh yeah, I'm just counting my blessings. And I just feel like everybody else is blessed as well to be here right now. And if you're going through something difficult, then and you need a mask, if you have respiratory problems, if there's an elder person in your family and you think that they need a I mean, if they're going outside for some reason, which they shouldn't be, but if they are, um, and you need a mask for them, please reach out to me, and I will get you one. I'll leave it on my porch so you can pick it up. I can send it to you if you send me, like, if you Venmo me some cash, whatever Venmo for, um, priority mail, whatever. So it'll get to you in like 1 or 2 days. But yeah, I mean, aside from all that, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. So this is why I'm doing this video. This is why I'm doing this tutorial. Just if you have a sewing machine, it makes me super happy because you have the power to make something. And if you have some, materials, if you have a pillowcase and some flannel, those are the two best fabrics to use for the face mask. They're easy to wash. They, easily dry in the sun, and it's not something that's too far fetched from what people already have. So I'm just gonna show you now what I've used for the process. Let me just turn this around now. So we have here, this is the fabric. This is a cute little fabric that I chose. This is for the kids' masks. So it's kind of cute little juvenile print. I call them juvenile or kids print. And what I did was to make the front, the left and the right side. I just put it down, just lay it out. And this is the pattern that I got from Joann's website for the pocket mask. And so the pocket mask is a mask that has this opening. So that way you can actually put some sort of non-woven material, or even a tissue or napkin, or some sort of third layer, because this will be your first layer, this will be your second layer, and then whatever you put inside the pocket is your third layer. So you have layers of protection. And yeah, so this is the pattern that I use, but for the ones that I make, I adjust them. I'm adjusting the pattern, or the ones that I'm selling, I adjust the pattern, because I'm not going to copyright infringement or whatever, infringe on somebody else's pattern that I got from a website. So this is actually the young kids 7 to 12 pattern, and this I got from the Joann's website. So if you go to joanns.com, and then it'll say something like, for making masks, right on the homepage. I just clicked on that and then downloaded the pattern from whatever the place that it took me to, and just printed it out. Simple, easy. I put it on cardboard. That way I can use it over and over and over again. Otherwise, the paper itself would just crumble to pieces. So this is the pattern, And of course, there is a main fabric, which is the outer fabric. And then the lining fabric is this, which I use is flannel. So this is 100% cotton and 100% cotton flannel as well. I luckily had these two fabrics. I luckily have a lot of fabrics on hand already, but because people have been requesting these masks, my fabric is just like flying out the door. Literally, it's flying out the door. It's amazing. I'm thankful, I guess grateful, that I have such a stash, and a lot of quilters and a lot of people makers, you know, they buy fabric and they're like, I'm going to make something someday with this fabric. Well, right now is the time to use that fabric. There's no better time than a time when you can help people by you know, to get rid of your fabric. So your whole fabric stash, bring it out, you know, inspect it, make sure there's no like moths eating it or anything like that. Moths don't like cotton really, so you should be good on that. But, you know, just inspect your fabric and then, yeah, go forward with creating things for people. So getting back to creating the mask. So I had printed out the pattern from the Joann's website. And so this is the main fabric, and then this is the lining fabric. So the lining fabric, again, 100% cotton. And this is another cute one that I found at Joann's. It's a, you know, a little game print. I really love the juvenile or kids prints. They're so much cuter than, you know, just your basic quilting stuff. So we have fabrics. So we got, you know, two fabrics. There are two types of fabrics. And if all you have is, you know, cotton, then just use cotton. If all you have is flannel, then that's going to be a nice warm mask. And just use what you got. Also, elastic. You're going to need the elastic for the ears, little ear loops. So, again, like I said, it's so difficult to find elastic right now. It's insane. So I had put in an order for elastic and thinking it would come like next week. And it actually sent me a shipping date of mid-May. So I'm not happy about that, but at the same time, you gotta do what you gotta do, and I'm gonna use all of the things that I have already on hand. So if you have thin elastic, that's the best because it's comfortable around the ears. And then if you have slightly thicker elastic, then just use that because that's also it's semi-comfortable. It is what it is, and it can always be changed out later. It's just elastic. All right, so in the end, when all is said and done, I had created these masks for kids. So this is the outer fabric and black elastic. And then this is the inner lining fabric. And make it nice and soft so that when it touches the face, there are no rough edges, and it won't leave like marks or anything like that. Of course, there's a pocket, so that way you can put some sort of third filter in there, a third filter. So you also have to use a, you know, cutting mat. I just have this to protect your surface, scissors, an iron, and this is a cool little thing that I had. I know a lot of people don't have this, but if you do have it, then you know what it's used for. It's used to put the elastic, pull the elastic through small areas like this. So if you do, cool. If you don't, just use a safety pin, hook it in there, and then pull it on through. All right, so let's see if there was anything else. Okay, let's start with this. And so, sorry if it's a little bit rough, but I don't have my cameraman because my cameraman is currently taking care of the baby. So I'm gonna bring my tripod over so that we can cut this together and then sew it up together. So I'm gonna just mosey on over to grab things as I need them. All right, and if you have any questions, then please feel free to answer. Feel free to ask, and I will answer as best as I could. This is a tutorial, so it's, you know, just gonna be that way. It's questions are all good, even if they're not about particularly sewing stuff, but hopefully they are. All right, and my tripod is getting funky with me. Getting funky. All right. Come on, tripod, work for me. Work for me. It's one of those things. Just one of them days. Okay. And yeah, this is on my dining table, so groovy, right? Okay. We still have a cereal bowl out here as well. Right, awesome. Okay. So, I know it's kind of crooked. Sorry. Make it all nice and cozy for everybody. I don't know how to... You can tell I've never done this before. Sorry about that. Alright. Okay, so you're going to print out the pattern, as I said, and once you print it out, put it on some cardboard, and if you want to, just put it on some cardboard, and then you have it so you can use it over and over again. I'm going to clean this off now, the area, and also I mark the fabric, so that way I can just, you know, trace it around the pattern and then take the pattern off instead of having to use pins, because I really don't like putting pins through paper anyway, because it messes up the pin and then you have to go buy more pins. I don't want to do that. Alrighty, so because this is on 2 layers, it's going to cut out 2 at the same time. And okay. An interesting thing, I was looking at fabric last night, and it was rolling out the door as well. It was, oh, sorry. I hope this is not going off. That's my alarm. Type of pocket lining. So the pocket lining that can be used is the flannel. I use flannel. You can use more cotton for sure in between, or you can use the any non-woven, any kind of like non-woven. Like you can use interfacing as well, like in the meantime. There's nothing against what you're using. You got to use what you have on hand, you know. I kind of think like, as long as you're using something, it's better than nothing, you know. So getting on back, and yeah, I had done a little bit of research, and you know, it went all the way to like what kind of, is silk okay to use, or what kind of other fabrics. And supposedly the best kind of fabric to use is like vacuum filter kind of fabric. But I wouldn't even know where to go to get a vacuum filter fabric anyway. So it's like, all right, you go to Home Depot, and then how many masks can you make with that fabric, and then how much is that going to cost? So in the end, what I actually found out was that the cotton and the flannel are breathable. If you're going to have this on your face, covering your nose and your mouth, then you want to be able to breathe, and that totally makes sense, right? So the vacuum filter fabric actually is not breathable, which totally makes sense, because you shouldn't want to breathe in anything that goes in through a vacuum. So you still need some sort of protection though, and this was the best type, cotton, 100% cotton. So here is the pocket main. This is the main, and it says cut 2 for the main fabric, and this is number 1, and this is number 2, just like that. And then the other side will be the flannel. So I'm going to grab just a little piece. And this is the pattern. And I use a pen. I just use a fabric marker to mark it. Like this. Cool. That way you don't have to use any pins. And then I also have, along with scissors, I do like to use a rotary cutter also, it's called. And that makes things super fast to cut. I do love this thing. I do love it. Of course, watch your fingers. And do not let kids touch this thing at all. At all. Or you'll be in a world of hurt. And they'll be in a world of hurt. See how easy that was? How like 0 time and effort it took? Okay. Okay. So, now this is the lining fabric. It says pocket lining, cut 2. Here's 1. Here's 2. And again, 1 and 2. Okay, cool. So let's go on over to the sewing machine, and we are going to step on over here. Let's bring our little tripod. And I'm going to readjust this thing again. Sorry for the jankiness of it, but I'm doing this, and we don't have a cameraman because the cameraman is with the baby. So I'm thankful, grateful that I have him to take care of our little one right now. It's been difficult to have the orders that I get, and to have to also be taking care of the baby. But we do what we gotta do, right? Okay. So now, next part, we're gonna sew this baby together on the sewing machine. So first thing I'm gonna do is with the lining, we'll do the lining first. So put them face to face. This is the face to face. and sew this first round curve. This is the nose curve. Alright, and that is done, just like that. Then we're going to do the front main fabrics face to face, just like this. Put them together and okay. All right, there we go. It's gonna snip off any excess thread so that doesn't get caught up anywhere else. All right, so now you have your lining and you have your front main piece. Okay. Next thing you do is fold in this area. This is your lining. You're going to fold it back about a 1/2 inch. You're going to fold it inward 1/2 inch and then sew that down. So you have a nice clean edge, just like that, instead of having the raw edge like this. So again, just fold it in 1/2 inch and then sew that down. All right, so now for your lining, you have a nice clean edge on the inside so that when it touches the face, there's no rawness right here on the edge. Okay, next part is putting them together. So you're going to match up the seam lines, and I'm going to put a little clip. I just use paper clips. Okay. I don't like using pins too often because they just, you know, I figured this is actually easier for some reason. I don't know why, but it is to me. So I just clip them together, just clip it together like that, and then sew it down. So this video is actually going to be uploaded to Facebook and to YouTube, so you can watch it all over again at your own time, of course. And if you have any questions, then you can also contact me through those channels as well, through Facebook and through YouTube. You can contact me on Instagram at LA Social Club. Okay. So now the top part has been sewn together. Now we're going to do the same for the bottom part. You see the seam lines here, the seam line here. Match these two up. Clip them. And sew it down. So of course there's gonna be, sorry I didn't mention this in the beginning, this is going to be longer than this, and it's so that there's an area for pocket for the elastic to go through. So it'll make sense, but I just wanted to show you just in case you're wondering why they're actually different lengths. So don't worry, there is a reason for this. All right, so I want to sew these down. little back stitch in the end so that the thread does not come undone. And then of course just snip off any of the excess threads because you don't want to get them caught up in anything else. Background music. Okay, so now you're all done sewing the mask all together. So what you're going to do is flip it inside out. Flip it inside out. Do, do, do. And now you have your mask. You have the front part right here, the kitty cats. Cute little print. I think it's so adorable. Let's see. Scrappy little threads. You have your front part here, and you have your inside, and then you have the stitch that you had done to get that raw edge off, just like that, so it's nice and clean on the inside. Looks good. All right, so then next thing is you're gonna have these two little pieces. You're just gonna press them down with your thumb and fold this in. So this raw edge right here is gonna meet this edge right here. So just fold it in like this, so it looks like that. And then we're gonna sew it down, and you're gonna leave enough room because elastic is gonna go in this little area right here. So I'm gonna sew it down and I'll show you what it looks like. Well, I thought I was sewing it down, but guess what? My bobbin thread ran out. Oh, nice. The wonderful, wonderful world of live tutorials. I ran out of bobbin thread, so that was a little ridiculous right there. All right, I have backup. Not to worry. I have plenty of bobbins. That was funny. Okay, so here's a little how to put a bobbin into a sewing machine. Here's the bobbin holder. Here's the bobbin thread. So in this little part right here, you put the bobbin thread into it, and then there's this little I want to say like a chip tooth. It looks like a little chip tooth. So you put your thread through the chip tooth, and then bring it down to the little viewing area right there, just like that. So it's in there. All right, let's get back to the sewing. Pop this thing in here till it clicks. Voila. Bring it on up, just like that. Okay, so round two. Let's try it again. Okay, so I'm pressing these two sides down and putting it down like this, then I'm gonna sew it. This time it should work. Yay! All right. Yay! Thread sewing. So now this is what it looks like. So you have your lining here, which is still open. Because you're going to be able to put in some sort of third layer of whatever kind of filter you want to put inside of it. And then this is the little area that you're going to put the elastic into. So we're going to do it on the other side as well. Just push them down at the hand and bring it in just like that. Sew it down. So we're almost done. We have 2 more steps, just putting in the elastic and then ironing it, and that's it. So now you have nice clean sides. This is the area you're gonna put the elastic in. You have your little nose area, nice curve. It's okay if your bobbin did this kind of deal, just snip it off. If you know how to work your sewing machine, absolutely wonderful. If you don't know how to, you can always ask me. You can always DM me, or you can leave a comment anytime. That's what I'm here for. Okay, and now here is the area for the elastic on both sides. All right, so let's go back and put some elastic in this thing and it'll be done. All right, so put our little, let's see, our patterns, the tools that we've used, ones that have been made. Okay, and that should be about it. Bring over the trusty tripod. Yeah, people who do these YouTube videos or these for, you know, for daily life, for living, I give them props, because this is not an easy thing for me right now. Easy enough, but still. So we have our little mask, and it's not showing you. Okay, gotta figure this out. Here we are, a little angle. All right, maybe that's better. Yeah, there we go. And I've got to find some elastic. Because this elastic is just a little too wide for this area. So I'm going to grab another elastic. I came across these elastics in downtown a while ago, and I just thought they were so cool because they're gold and then hot pink. So in this one, I'm going to use hot pink. So for the elastic, you're going to trim about 16 inches. So I have my cutting mat, which is great. It already has the inches on it. 16 inches. And then you're going to fold it in half and then cut the elastic in half. Just like that. And then I have the puller, the bodkin, it's called. In sewers speak, it's called a bodkin. But the puller thing, elastic puller thing. Let's bring it on through. There it is. Sweet little thing. And it pulls through the elastic. Just like that. And then do it on the other side as well. And voila, you have your elastic through the side ends, and I'm just gonna tie it in a knot. This one, and again, other side. If you need more, of course, use more elastic, or less, just use less elastic. All good. And that is it. You have your elastics for your ears. Done. There it is. All right, the mask is all done. The final step is just ironing it so it's nice and crispy clean. But otherwise, there you go. Your mask is all done in, yeah, just about an hour. So again, this is a kid size. This is 7 to 12 years old. And if anybody has kids and would like to make the masks, you see how easy they are. And the fun part could be, you know, having the kids pick their fabrics, or pick the color of their elastics. And yeah, also you have protection for them, and it can also be fun and cute. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment, or you can also just DM me. No problem. I really appreciate you watching, and I hope this answered some questions. Again, I got the pattern from joanns.com. Downloaded the pattern, printed it out, put it on cardboard, and yeah, and then just got my fabrics that I already had on hand and started making. All right, I truly appreciate you watching. If again, you can catch me sometimes on Mondays on my husband's podcast, Dre's Geek Philosophy. You can find him at Dre GP Podcast. You can find me at rosa.limon.Los Angeles. That's my Instagram. And as well as LA Social Club. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you next time. Bye.